Hi. Look how old. I have so many of these. I don't know why. My mom had like a dozen of them, and it's a purple that I never use. So it's like super old DMC thread. Like this is old, but this is older. Okay, tell me if the light is good enough. I have my lamp in here because it was looking a little dim. It's like midnight. Oh, look, I missed one. I missed a sprig right here. I'm gonna have to go back and do that. No. Okay, so tonight we're gonna do our mittens. We have a bunch of different little stitches we're gonna use. So let's get started. Looks good here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this light then. Okay, so we're gonna use 3755, 210, 208, and Blanc if you want to. I don't even remember what I had it set up as. Oh yeah, dark purple, blue, light purple, white, dark purple. We might change that up. Okay, so we'll start with our dark purple. Okay, so we're gonna do some cross stitches. In this space here. Okay, so you can draw them in if you want, or just wing it. I'm gonna draw them just the one way. So cross stitches normally like this to here, and then this next one will start there. Okay, so we're gonna keep these. Oops, that's gonna be too fat. We're gonna do that. That one was a little bit far. Okay, we're gonna keep it in that sort of direction. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Because once we have one side down, then the other side will just follow along. Okay? Now, you can do whatever stitches you want on these. If you're not feeling it with what I'm doing, feel free to do whatever you want. Okay, so I've got 6 strands of my DMC 208. We're gonna start, I'm actually gonna start down here because I don't like a knot up in my corner, so I'm just gonna start funny. And we're gonna go ahead and do all of our stitches this way, and then we'll go back and do them the other way. Because that's how cross stitching goes. We just don't have our grid. So you could also do like a basket weave up here. Would be fun. If you want to. And I'm just gonna go ahead and come down here and do these ones as well. It's been like the longest Monday of my life. It's like the day that never ends. And it feels like it should be midnight. Okay, so now we're gonna go the other way. So this first one will be kind of on its own, but then we're just gonna use these same holes. So where we went down, we're gonna go down again. And where we came up, we're gonna come up again in those same holes. I'm watching my friend's 4-month-old baby this week. That's why I can't do lives during the day. And then we went to my daughter's school. They're learning about the solar system this week. They do, the week before Christmas, they call it an intensive, and they learn all about one subject all week, and they like deep dive into it. So they're learning about the solar system this week, and they had a guy come to talk about planets and the stars and the constellations and all kinds of stuff. He had like a big giant telescope, and anyways, we went and did that tonight. Okay, that's where my knot is, so I'm pulling it out of the way underneath. All right. So then I'm going to go back and just outline this on the edges. Kind of fill that in a little bit and make them look a little bit more polished. Especially on this end over here where our X's are a little funky. So we're going to do satin stitch right here. So I'm not worried about doing a stitch right there because that edge will have a satin stitch. Okay. There's a little end of our glove. Let me see if I can get a little bit better light. Okay. Yeah? All right, let me tie this off, and then we're gonna get real crazy here in a second. Okay. So we're gonna do this section next. On the pattern, I have it as purple and white, but I'm just going to do all purple. I want to do a long and short stitch to kind of blend the two purples. So I'm just going to draw this line up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to come in. I just like to have a little bit of a guide when I'm doing a long and short stitch. Just because. So I'm just going to draw these lines a little bit more defined. Now, this is another stitch that I'm not great at. It's just not my favorite thing. And so, anyways, if you don't love it, it's all right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use 2 strands so that they'll blend a little bit better. So I'm just going to use the purple I have left over from this, but I'm just going to pull 2 strands out. You could use more strands if you want. They won't blend quite as much, which is totally fine. Usually like a thread painting or like a long and short stitch, they blend pretty well. So a lot of people use like single strands. I find single strands to be very annoying. So I don't use single strands, hardly ever, only on details. on stitch portraits. Okay, so we're just gonna start at the edge. And we don't want it to be too, like we don't want to keep to this exactly, but a little bit. So I usually go in and just go across and do all of the ups and downs, just so I know that there's at least that variety in there. And then I'll go back and fill in some other stitches. So because these are mittens, if you use more strands, they'll look like fluffier. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing. Because these are right next to each other, I feel like I can just do them at the same time. No, it didn't have as many zigzags. That's okay though. All right, on our edge. And then we're just gonna go in and just fill this in with random stitches. So some longer, some shorter. But we just wanna get that space filled in, so. I'm not very good at random. People are like, just do it random. And I'm like, you want me to do what now? So if that's you, welcome. Welcome to the chaos. So almost like satin stitch, we just want these to lay next to each other so we can fill that space. Whoops, that one was crooked. It's okay, we'll just cover it up. I feel like this stitch is really messy. There's just like, I don't know, no rhyme or reason to it. And it's hard to see because this is at an angle and I am not. Oops, I'm gonna scoot that over. Put in another one here. So I'm sure if I was holding this in my hand, it would be a little bit different. Kind of this boring part, I'm sorry. How are your wreaths looking? I know there's been a few people saying that they're behind. Is everyone behind? I feel like I'm finally caught up. Like I didn't have to stitch any this weekend on these. Okay, so there's that. And we'll move up here. It's like that time of year that just like everything kind of falls by the wayside a little bit. It almost looks complete. Yay, Haley. So good. Keeping up. I was planning this when I was like taking Christmas commissions, so I was like, I need to be done with my commissions before I start this because I need to be able to stay up with 2 of them and not just 1 of them. And I almost did that, but then I took on a couple more projects. But I don't feel like last year I was so overwhelmed at this time of the year that I was like, I can't do that again. It was not good. Almost to the end. So I totally forgot because I normally do like backing the hoop as just its own day, because if you already know how to do embroidery, then you know how to finish your back. But I forgot that we're doing a double hoop and that a lot of people are going to need help finishing the back. So I apologize. We're going to finish the back next week. I can't fit it in this week. I mean, we could maybe do it Saturday, but I hate to go live on Saturdays when I like to do stuff with my family on Saturdays. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so kind of random. All right, let me flip this over, tie this off. Actually, I'm not going to tie it off yet. I'm going to leave it over here. So sometimes I'll just pull my thread. Like this is my needle minder. So I'll just, pull it off to the side so I can use it later if I want. You don't have to do this. I hate tying off a knot and then needing the thread again. So I'm just going to put it there in case I decide I need some more purple. Let me put this back. I wasn't in there very tight today. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to use our DMC 210. We're going to use 2 strands again to finish these gloves. I might have to change needles because I have a scrap piece cut, so this isn't very long. So we'll see how far we can get with it. Let me tie this off and then we'll get going. Sorry, one more. Prettiest little mittens. Thanks, Lisa. I thought mittens would be so fun, especially because like all the different like textures you can do. I love the sparkle fabric too. I know, this fabric is so dang fun. I was super excited when I found it. I wish that I had found the time to go find some that was like gold for the Christmas one, but it just didn't happen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I guess this is technically split stitch. I don't know. But I'm going to go in and just at the edge of this dark purple, I'm going to come up and then I'm going to go down on this line. Same thing. I'm just going to go in just near the edge and back down. I like to go up rather than down in stitches because it feels like it blends them better than if I go down in them. People driving loud cars on my street. And honestly, if we were doing like a thread painting situation, we'd probably have like 3 or 4 colors. But I don't really think that I should be teaching people thread painting because I'm not very good at it. So we're going to do this and call it good. Let's see. That one's really high up there. Where's the end? Sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing. I've gone off course on my line a little bit. But I can see the line like in my fabric, so I'm sticking to that one instead. There we go. Look how cute. Okay, now I'm gonna come down here. Super excited about these mittens. I almost did them last week instead of the snowman. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed with all of these different stitches, you could also just satin stitch the whole thing or something like that. Chain stitch them. That would make them look knitted. Do just lines of chain stitch. Have we done chain stitch? Oh yeah, we did on Santa's hat. I was like, I swear I taught that, but I don't see it. It was Santa's hat. So if you want to do like chain stitch, go watch The First Day of Santa. That was day 9. And you could do that to these mittens if you wanted to. That would be really cute. That one was way up there. What was I doing here? Okay, so once you've done all the way over, you can go back in and fill in any spots. I can't see it very well at this angle that my hoop stand is at, so I'm going to do it afterwards and just go and see if I can find any spots that need a little bit of filling in. Like I can see one right here. There's kind of a bigger gap than I want, so I'm just going to go ahead and go in and go back down in there just to kind of fill it in. So you could do it with either color. I'm almost out of this light purple. So anyways, go in and fill in. Like I like to just go all the way across and and then go back and fill in anything that needs to be filled in. So anyways, that's that part. So such a perfect line, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to leave this over here while we do the rest of the mittens. So I'm going to do this part white and this part blue. In this light, I can see like the line in like the weaving of the fabric, so it's easier to like stay on a line because I can see like the weave of the fabric. So anyways, it's not too special. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use 4 strands. If you don't like my switching strands, you can always use more than me. If you just want to stick with 6, you feel free. I'm not gonna judge you, but no judging me for splitting all the time. Okay, so I've got my 4 white ones, and I'm going to just stitch this end, just satin stitch it on the end. So I'm just gonna go horizontal. So I'm gonna go the end of this purple and cover up that pretty line that we've got there. Whoop, pulled the end of that thread in, didn't I? That purple one's gonna get in my way. I've got like 1 strand. Hang on, it's bugging me. Gotta figure out which strand it is that's not being pulled tight. There we go. Got it. Then it just pulled everything really tight. Okay. That same one, darn it. So if you don't want 3 colored mittens, you could also just stick with the blue in the middle, or you could do all purple or all purple and white or whatever you want to do. Okay, so this last one I'm going to come up at an angle. This purple thread, it's not good. It's in my way. Let's see. Got something going on back there. It's okay, it's my last stitch. And then I'm gonna go down at an angle as well to kind of get the tip of that mitten. Man, that light purple, I should have trimmed it. It's like all caught up in my white thread now. There we go. That was rough. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna come over here and do the same thing. If you wanted to keep in this direction, you could also do this vertically. So it keeps that same like texture. Just pulling threads in everywhere I go. There's some blue. Gonna leave it till I'm done. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do one more at the tip here. Okay. All right, and then we'll go back with our blue. Let me just tie this off. I gotta tie off this purple one too, it's driving me crazy. Okay, that will be better. Okay, so now we have the blue part. So I'm going to satin stitch this as well. Well, maybe not. What should we do? Should we do some chain stitch in there? Chain stitch could be fun. Let's do chain stitch. Okay. Last minute change. I was gonna do satin stitch so I could do like polka dots on it. But I don't want something else that I have to put French knots on Friday. We've got a lot of French knots to do. So I'm gonna do something else. So if you want to, in the pattern I have it with dots on it. So I was gonna satin stitch it and put some French knot polka dots, but I'm gonna change my mind. That's what's so great. You can do whatever you want. Okay, I'm gonna use 3 strands of this blue. It is 37.55. And I'm not usually a fan of chain stitch. I usually like reverse chain stitch, but when we were doing Santa's hat, I realized how much easier it is to do like chain stitch as a filler stitch when I'm doing a regular chain stitch rather than a reverse. So if you want to know how to do a reverse chain stitch, then you'll have to go watch Santa's hat on day 9 because I'm not doing it this time. Okay, so with a chain stitch, I'm gonna start here and then I'll do the thumbs after. So a chain stitch, we go up and down in that same hole. And then we're gonna leave a loop and we're gonna go up in this loop. Okay, whoa, here we go. Okay, we're gonna go up in this loop and then we're gonna go down in that same spot inside the loop. And then we're gonna create our next chain here. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go up in it and down in it. And then when we get to the end, instead of going up and down in the same spot, we're gonna go fix the knot in the back. Goodness sake. We're gonna go up in the loop and then we're gonna go down just on the other side of it to tack that chain down. You see how it creates that fun, like, knitted look? Beautiful mittens. I love the colors. Thanks! I felt like it needed something to balance out all the blue. So we threw some purple in. Okay, so we're gonna go back the other way. So we're gonna go up here, down here, and then we have our loop. We're gonna keep our stitches about the same length. So I like to pull this snug a little before I go back down. See if we can pull that purple with us. Nope. Got all those knots in the back that's pulling all the colors forward. Okay, so we're just gonna do this all the way across. So I'm only gonna do one of these mittens because we're already 38 minutes in. So you can do the other one on your own. That's where my knot is, remember? I didn't want a knot on the end, so now it's right there. See, these would be really cute if you wanted to do this whole thing knitted like so it looked knitted like this. But it's also a lot, like it just takes a long time. So depending on how patient you're feeling, would totally be cute. Or you could like alternate colors. You could do like purple, white, or something like that. Like each line. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Shoot, what was I doing here? Hang on, let me undo that. I got chatting and forgot what I was doing. Okay, I'm gonna go over and do the thumb because this is just gonna keep going like this. We're just gonna keep going until we get to the end. And then the thumb, I'm just gonna do at a little bit of an angle. So it's not really different, but I just wanna show you how I'm gonna do it. Up and down in that same hole. I'll link it to this one. Kind of fun. This got all twisted. And then I'm gonna curve up and do this last one down here. Create that end. Oh man. I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna come back down here and start again. End that one, and then I'm just going to do one more to fill that space right here. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna let you finish the rest on your own. Just all the way over to the edge. And then if you wanted, you could do like a stitch between the cross stitches and the chain stitches, or something between these two if you wanted. Anyways, when I get mine completed, I'll post it in my story so you can see what my finished ones look like. And that is it. So tomorrow we will be, let's see, I don't remember what I decided to do tomorrow. Ornaments. So we're gonna do the ornaments on our Christmas hoop. So they're the ones up at the top on our Christmas one. So we'll have to move our hoop to do those ones. So that will be tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thanks for joining me, even though it's a little bit late. I know some of you it's really late. So anyways, thanks for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.